story of love and hope. Hello, my name is Anna. I want to tell you a story about love and loss. It's hard for me to talk about this, but I think it will help me feel better. A few months ago, I lost someone very special. His name was Tom, and he was the love of my life. Since he left, my heart feels broken. I am sad every day. I wake up and reach for him, but he's not there. I see his favorite mug in the kitchen, and I cry. My world feels empty without him. My life before Tom. Before I met Tom, I was a quiet woman who lived alone in a small apartment. I worked at a library where I spent most of my time reading books. I didn't have many friends, and I often felt lonely. My days were the same. Wake up, go to work, come home, and read. I liked books because they took me to new places, but I still felt something was missing. I dreamed of finding someone to share my life with, but I didn't know where to look. Sometimes, I sat by my window and watched people outside, wondering if I would ever feel happy. One day, I decided to go to the park. It was a sunny afternoon, and I brought a book to read. I sat on a bench, enjoying the warm air and the sound of birds. I didn't know that day would change my life. Meeting Tom. While I was reading, a man walked up to me. He smiled and asked, "Can I sit here?" I looked up and saw his kind eyes. I said yes, and he sat down. His name was Tom. He was funny and easy to talk to. We talked about books, the weather, and our favorite foods. I felt something special right away. We talked for hours, and I didn't want it to end. When the sun started to set, he asked, "Can we meet again tomorrow?" I said yes, and my heart felt light for the first time in a long time. Our happy times. After that day, Tom and I were always together. We went on long walks in the park, holding hands and talking about our dreams. We had a favorite spot under a big oak tree where we would sit and watch the sunset. Tom brought a picnic basket with sandwiches, fruit, and my favorite chocolate cake. We ate and listened to the birds sing. Those moments were perfect. I felt safe and loved with him. One day, Tom surprised me with a gift. It was a necklace with a heart-shaped pendant. He said, "This is a symbol of my love for you." I put it on and never took it off. It made me feel close to him, even when he wasn't with me. He always knew how to make me smile. We had a tradition of cooking dinner together every Sunday. Tom chopped the vegetables, and I stirred the pot. We laughed and joked while we cooked. Sometimes we danced in the kitchen to our favorite songs. Then we sat down to eat, enjoying each other's company. Those Sundays were my favorite days. We shared so many happy times. We watched movies on the couch under a soft blanket. He let me pick the movie, even if he didn't like it. He always said, "If you're happy, I'm happy." One summer, we went to the beach. He built a sandcastle for me and wrote our names in the sand. He said, "Our love will last forever." I believed him. We walked along the water, and I felt like the luckiest person in the world. Losing Tom. But then everything changed. One day, Tom got very sick. He had a fever and felt weak. I took him to the doctor, but they said it was serious. They couldn't help him. My heart sank. I stayed with him every day in the hospital. I held his hand and told him I loved him. smile, but he was so tired. The worst day came when he looked at me with weak eyes and said, "I love you, Anna, be happy." Then he closed his eyes and left me. I cried and screamed, but he was gone. My heart broke into pieces. Life without Tom. After Tom died, I didn't know how to live. I stayed in bed all day, crying and looking at our photos. I listened to his favorite songs and remembered his voice. My friends called me, but I didn't want to talk. I felt so alone. The house was quiet without his laughter. I walked past the park and saw our oak tree, but I couldn't go near it. Everything reminded me of him, the kitchen, the stars, the necklace I still wore. It hurt so much. I stopped going to work. The library sent me letters, but I didn't open them. I didn't eat much. I just wanted Tom back. My sister came to see me and made me soup, but I couldn't taste it. She said, "Anna, you need to try." But I didn't know how. Finding help. One day, my friend Sarah came to visit. She had lost someone she loved, too, and she understood my pain. She sat with me and listened as I talked about Tom. I told her about our picnics, our Sundays, and how he made me laugh. She didn't try to cheer me up or tell me to move on. She just held my hand and said, "It's okay to feel sad. Take your time." Her words were like a small light in the dark. After a few visits, Sarah suggested I try painting. She said, "It might help you feel better." I didn't think I could do it, but I said yes to make her happy. She brought me paints and a canvas. I started painting pictures of the park, our oak tree, the sunset, the bench where we met. As I painted, I felt a little peace. It was like Tom was with me, watching me work. Painting became my way to remember him without crying all the time. Honoring Tom, I also started volunteering at a local shelter. Tom had always been kind and helpful, so I wanted to do something good in his name. I helped serve food to people who needed it. They smiled and said thank you, and it made me feel useful. One man at the shelter told me his story of losing his home. I listened, just like Sarah listened to me. Helping others made me feel closer to Tom's spirit. Over time, I started to heal. I went back to work at the library. My coworkers were kind and didn't ask too many questions. I began reading books again, and sometimes I imagined Tom sitting next to me, listening to the story. I still missed him every day, but the pain got a little smaller. I learned to cherish our memories and smile at them. A new hope. One morning, I woke up and looked out the window. The sun was shining, and the birds were singing. I felt a hope I hadn't felt in a long time. I decided to go for a walk in the park. I passed families, dogs, and flowers. I thought about Tom and all the happy times we had. I remembered his laugh, his smile, and the way he held my hand. I smiled, knowing his love was still with me. When I reached our oak tree, I sat down and closed my eyes. I could almost feel Tom beside me. I whispered, "Thank you, Tom. Thank you for loving me and teaching me how to love." A soft wind touched my face, and I felt calm. Living again. I know life will never be the same without Tom, but I also know I can find happiness again. I paint, I volunteer, and I I spend time with friends. Some days are hard, and I still cry. But other days, I laugh and feel warm inside. I wear his necklace every day, and it reminds me of his love. Love doesn't end when someone leaves. It stays in your heart forever. Tom's love gives me strength to keep going, one day at a time. I want to live in a way that makes him proud. Thank you for listening to my story. Life can be hard, and losing someone hurts a lot. But there is hope. Love doesn't go away. Tom is with me in my memories and in my heart always.